Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and today we will explore what to expect from shooting with the POCO F7 Ultra. And I admit it is the first time I am testing a mobile of this brand, but I was just wondering what all it can and can't do. We'll quickly look at about 150 test photos captured in a wide range of locations, from old ponds to high mountains. What is important, this is an HDR video, so it can display photo and video quality exactly as you would see it on your phone. Let's get to it. As always, I suggest we start with the overview of the lenses and sensors. The most important, of course, will be the main lens, main sensor. You can see some examples of what to expect from it from that beautiful part of southern Bohemia. Of course, you will not find here Leica's branding and filters like on, well, the more advanced mobiles from Xiaomi. But at the same time, you can see that you don't really need that because the results are pretty nice. I should probably mention, why am I actually testing this mobile phone? Because typically it's a mobile phone which is loved and used by people who like to play games and love technology of that sort. Many of them ask me, please, could you just review that mobile phone? Because I'd like to know, the question was, if I buy it for gaming, for instance, what will be the results of normal shooting? And that's the reason why am I testing this today. And from that first glimpse, you might see that you probably will not be disappointed. These are beautiful views from the highest mountains in the Czech Republic. And as I said, now we are only briefly testing the main sensor and main lens. Then there is the second one, second lens, second sensor. It's telezoom, of course. It has 60mm, 50 megapixels, and obviously you'll be using them for details like that, for cities, for mountains, for flowers. And as we'll see in a couple of minutes, I really liked how that mobile phone works with details, because it really allows you to take photos like that, which really counts. And then please do not forget there is the third lens, third sensor, which is ultra wide, and it gives us the power to capture, well, obviously ultra wide scenes and under different conditions and different situations like biking or walking in the mountains, and I quite like the results. One important detail, as you can see here from my Lightroom, what you get from the ultra wide lens has only roughly 8 megapixels, which is not too much. If you enlarge the details, you might see that the quality just goes down. So my advice would be, do not forget, you can turn on the Ultra HD mode, in which you are actually able to use 50 megapixels on the main sensor or 32 on the ultra wide, which I think quite often might make sense. Which brings us to these shots of some extra settings. You won't be surprised. What is important to note, if you have owned, for instance, some more advanced Xiaomi mobile phones, you are used that there's a lot of filters, a lot of Leica stuff, but it's not here. This is pretty basic. You have some filters, as you can see from that screen recording, but it certainly can't be compared to more advanced mobile phones. It does not mean that the results would be worse, but if you are really used to the world of many filters and many functions, it's somehow limited. As always, I suggest we test the zooming capabilities of that mobile phone. As you can see from this print screen, we can start at 0.6 and then we can zoom up to 60, which of course would not make much sense, but we can see it now on that examples, ultra wide, normal one, and then we are getting closer and closer and closer, and it's still all right, and suddenly we can go up to 60, which would not make much sense. But you should know that that is not primarily phone for taking photos, but still you can rely that if you want, you'll be able to get pretty decent results. One interesting feature to point out, I already mentioned that I really liked the ability of that mobile phone to capture details, either in what they call super macros or simply by zooming and using the lenses you have there. And it's not completely automatic that you'll be able to get such a nice details from mobile phones, but it does indeed work here. So if you buy that mobile phone, do try shots like this. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised what all can you get from it. Well, in the case of flowers or stones from my garden. And now you'll have a chance to see all these 150 test photos from many locations and many situations. Once again, what is worth to mention is that all these shots are not edited. They are just JPEGs directly from the mobile phone. And once more, what you can see if you are watching that video on some more advanced devices, you can see how the highlights are glowing and everything looks nice. That's the HDR effect. So once again, now you are able to see the quality you'll be getting if you are there on these amazing places in southern Bohemia. Some old oaks, old ponds, and once more that amazing scenery in, I believe, one of the most beautiful parts of Europe. Trees, bikes, flowers, and generally, again, I am testing that mobile phone because many people ask me, if I buy POCO, would I be disappointed? And I believe these photos, well, give you sort of straightforward answer, because if you buy it, you will not be disappointed because you are able to use that, especially the Ultra one, for shots like that. Having said that, of course, there will be some limits, and if you need a camera for family trip, we will probably be looking at different types. But at the same time, well, look at this, for instance. This is boring shot, of course, but if you are watching it on an HDR display, you see that it works great. You can see the glowing whites at the clouds. At the same time, you can see a lot of information in the shadow of the boring coffee cup. Some details, and let's go further on our bikes, deeper into the woods, forests, and cities if you want. This is a fantastic, beautiful city of Třeboň in southern Bohemia, and some details. Beautiful weather, blue sky, and of course, since we are in the Czech Republic, I can't avoid testing this mobile phone on beer, as you can see here, and famous castle in that amazing city. And some more details, and well, this is pretty boring stuff, but I wanted to point out, because quite often people ask me, what does actually HDR mean on the display of my mobile phone? Because it's slightly different HDR than the principle we are using now to show you what I want to show you on your display. But the HDR abbreviation you can see on display actually means that if you turn it off, like I did here, you'll lose the ability of the mobile to capture so huge differences between lights and shadows. So why am I showing that to you? Is that if you turn it off by your decision or just by your mistake, you'll just get that. If you turn it on, the mobile will be able to return the information hidden in the clouds and in the sky. So please do not forget that you should time to time check whether you are using it or not, because the difference is really crucial, not only in shots like that. And we can move on my bike deeper into the forests and ponds, and as you can see here, the weather was really not exciting, but still, if you watch this on proper device, you'll see the colors are beautiful. And now we jump to a completely different part of the Czech Republic, the really high mountains. Again, very complex, very complicated light. And still, I have to say the results are quite decent in this respect. The truth is, sometimes I had to make it lighter or darker, but if you are an experienced photographer, you just will not have any issues in using that mobile phone for even complex shots like that. The next day, it'll be much tougher because the sun disappeared for many days, but still, you are able to get quite nice shots, especially if you are able to see these photos on a proper display. Beautiful waterfalls, and now we are going up to the highest mountain of the Czech Republic. Before we get there, a short stay in that restaurant, and this is quite boring shot, of course, but again, you can easily see the colors and lights in the HDR world. Some energy for the final climb, and let's go to the highest mountains. Let's fight with the clouds and rain again. Boring shot, but nice example of what to expect from that camera in the mountains. So this is the highest mountain of the Czech Republic, called Sněžka. These shots are really not exciting because the weather was really terrible. You can see it slightly from these shots, so I apologize that I won't be showing you too much of beautiful shots of that mountain, but it indeed is beautiful. some details, the highest mountain somewhere in the background, and we can go down from the slopes and we can take some more shots, flowers and valleys. And again, please do not forget, if you buy that mobile phone, do try details, do try shots like that, because I think this is one of the interesting features you should not forget to use. Beautiful mountains, and we can depart our adventure here and with these beautiful clouds, beautiful colors. This is the end of our road for that moment, and we can say goodbye to the photo part of that video with this tower and a nice detail of this flower. And now, as always, let me show you a couple of examples of video. And as always, I have to apologize because typically I'm really not good at evaluating videos, because I'm really good at photography. That's what I do for decades, but well, the video is a bit distant. So the best thing I can do is exactly what I am doing right now. So I'm showing you some examples of the video, and it's up to you to make your own assessment. Important detail, please do not forget to turn on the option to record the videos in HDR 10+. It's an important feature, which means that your shots will be recorded in HDR. And although you might not really need it at the moment, I can guarantee that in a couple of years, you'll be extremely happy that you have it. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope I gave you some inspiration. Take care. I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.